there is a diaphragm. Okay, there is a diaphragm in the middle. So in actual electrolysis of concentrated brine solution, when we do it, we put a barrier in the middle. Okay, this barrier or diaphragm, it actually allows only certain ions to pass through it. Okay, so like at anode, we get chlorine gas. Okay, and at cathode, we will get hydrogen gas. Okay, when we do the electrolysis of concentrated sodium chloride solution, we get chlorine gas at anode and hydrogen gas at cathode. Okay, so Na sodium ions which are present on other side, okay, they will pass through that membrane, okay, go to the other side and react with this OH to form sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, so this membrane actually allows only sodium ions to cross through it, to pass through it. Okay, so it's like if you are a bio student, then you know about the cell membrane which is present in animal cells and plant cells
Yes,
also. Okay, the
yes.
cell membrane function is it that it allows only certain substances to pass through it. Okay, similarly this diaphragm is also, it allows only selective ion to pass. Okay, so only
Semi-permeable,
Na ions will pass through it. Yes.
like a semi-permeable membrane.
Yeah, semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so it's like that. So they can ask you in short question that what is the purpose of this membrane in the middle. Okay, so this is perforated membrane and it allows only sodium ions to cross through it on the other side. Okay, so from anode side, they will move to the cathode side. Okay, and on cathode side, they will react with OH ions to form sodium hydroxide. Okay, so see here, after the diagram, it's written the membrane cell for the electrolysis of concentrated brine. Okay, this is the actual cell in which we do the electrolysis. The selective ion exchange membrane allows only Na ions to pass through it. Okay, so only Na ions will cross this membrane. Okay, and sodium hydroxide will form on the cathode side. Okay, and it's written here in this paragraph also, the Na positive and OH negative ions collect in the cathode compartment. Okay, so on the cathode side, sodium hydroxide solution is removed and purified. So this was the one thing which I wanted to tell you. The cathodes and anodes, they can also be like, we can use graphite ones also, graphite cathode and anode also, and we can also use them from made up of titanium and nickel. Okay, as you can see in the diagram. So anode can be made up of titanium and we can use nickel cathode also in this electrolysis. So in different type of electrolysis, so there are different electrodes which are used in some of the important electrolysis. So like in this one, in concentrated sodium chloride one, you can see titanium and nickel electrodes can also be used. Okay, and today we'll study about acid solution. Okay, electrolysis of acids. So in that one, you can see that we can use platinum electrodes also. Okay, so there are some of the electrolysis, some very important electrolysis on which you have to remember that which electrodes are used in their electrolysis. So let's continue. Next topic is electrolysis of acid solutions. Okay, this is a very small topic, and see here. Okay, this one, electrolysis of acid solutions. Okay, so this part is on one page and this is on the next page. Okay, the page 110 and page 111. Okay, and the small paragraph at the start of page 111. So electrolysis of acid solutions, it's the same. Acid solution means there is acid present and water. Okay, there will be acid and water in it. Okay, so acid solution, it can be dilute, same, and it can be concentrated. Okay, now there are two sets of equation. One set of equation is for dilute and one set of equation is for concentrated. Can you tell me which one is for dilute and which one is for concentrated? Like this is, these two equations, they are for the electrolysis of HCl, electrolysis of HCl solution. So HCl will give H positive and Cl negative, and the water which is present, water will give H positive and OH negative.
Ma'am, A is I think dilute and B is concentrated.
You think that A is dilute and B is for concentrated. Yeah, and it's correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because see, for the cathode, let's see the cation first. The cation is the same. Okay, HCl will also give hydrogen, and water is also giving hydrogen. Okay, both of them are giving hydrogen, so there is no competition like in salt solutions. Okay, in salt solutions we get different cations, so there is a competition when we have to see the electrochemical series. Okay, that which one will discharge. But in acid solutions you have same cation, same type of cation, hydrogen hydrogen, so obviously hydrogen will discharge at cathode. Okay, so in both cases, in case of dilute also, H positive ion will discharge forming hydrogen gas, and in concentrated also, S positive ion will discharge and form hydrogen gas. So in both cases we will get the same product on cathode, okay, which is hydrogen gas. And now let's come to anion, Cl negative and OH negative. For the anions, I told you that we will see the concentration, okay, that which ions are more, which ions are more concentrated. So in dilute solution, as we know that in dilute solution there is more solvent. Okay, solvent means more water present. So if there is more water, then obviously OH ions will be more. Okay, so the ions which are more in amount, they will discharge. So OH ions are discharging at anode. Okay, and in concentrated solution, concentrated means more solute. Okay, and here the solute is acid, the acid which we are using. Okay, and if acid is more, so acid anion will be more. Okay, so in this case the more concentrated Cl ion will discharge. So for the anion we will see the concentration, whichever will be more in amount, it will discharge. Okay, for OH ions, for the anode equation, see the anode equation, it's really important. OH ions. Okay, so whenever we do the electrolysis of of a dilute solution, okay, of a dilute solution, then always OH ions will discharge, because in a dilute solution water is always in more amount. Okay, so always we will get OH ions. So the equation for OH ions is a little different from the others. Okay, so see what is this equation. Okay, and you have to learn this equation also. Okay, it's really important. So OH ions, OH negative. Okay, negative means extra electrons, so it will give. So OH negative will give that electron. Okay, give that one electron, and there are two products which will form, H2O and oxygen. Okay, so always remember, whenever OH ions, whenever hydroxide ions discharge, they will always give water and oxygen. Okay, water and oxygen. Now when we balance it, then we will see that here 4 OH ions will give 4 electrons and 2 H2O will form. Okay, so when we balance it, um, see, hydrogen is 2, hydrogens are 2 here, 2 hydrogens, and here hydrogen ion is 1. Okay, hydrogen is 1, so we can write 2 here, okay, to balance, but still oxygen is unbalanced, because how many oxygens are there on the product side? Hmm?
Four.
Sorry? No, right now without balancing, 1 oxygen in water and 2 in oxygen molecule. So total 3. No?
3, ma'am.
Yeah, total 3. Okay, so we have to balance oxygen also. So we have to write any number here so that oxygen and hydrogen will be same. Okay, on this side also. So if we write 2 here with hydrogen, then here oxygen will become 2 and
4.
total oxygens will be 4,
4.
and hydrogen will also be 4. Okay, so
So,
4
ma'am, on
hydrogen,
the
4 oxygen.
reactant side, we will write 4 OH negative. I forgot.
Yes, 4 OH negative. Okay, here we'll write 4. So if one hydroxide is giving 1 electron, then 4 hydroxides will give 4 electrons. Okay, so this is the balanced chemical equation for OH ions, okay, for hydroxide ions, and you have to remember this equation OH1, okay, because always whenever a dilute solution electrolyzes, it will give OH ions at anode. Okay, so this equation is really important, and please practice. Okay, practice these equations, these half equations, and keep on revising. So this is about the electrolysis of acid solution. Okay, they have given you these two equations with the taking the example of hydrochloric acid. Now there is one cell here which is Hoffman voltmeter. Okay, Hoffman voltmeter, and its picture is on page 111. On page 101, 111, there is a diagram of Hoffman voltmeter for the electrolysis of dilute sulfuric acid. So in this voltmeter, this is a name given to this cell in which we perform the electrolysis on dilute sulfuric acid. Okay, so it is dilute sulfuric acid, and you can see here we are using platinum electrodes. Okay, so you have to remember this thing that in Hoffman voltmeter, platinum electrodes are used. Cathode and anode both are made up of platinum. Okay, now it's dilute sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid will give H positive and sulfate ions, SO4 2 negative. Okay, and water will give H positive and OH negative. Okay, and hydrogen on cathode, which ion will discharge at cathode? Cathode.
Negative ions, ma'am.
No, cathode itself is negative. So which ion will be discharged?
Hydrogen.
Yeah, hydrogen. Okay,
Ma'am,
because
but
cathode.
becomes
Uh-huh.
okay. Okay, yes.
Yes, cathode is negative. So positive ions are will get attracted towards it. Okay, and as both of them are giving hydrogen ions, water is also giving hydrogen ion, and sulfuric acid is also giving hydrogen ion. Okay, so there's no competition, and we know that at cathode hydrogen gas is formed. Okay, it's very clear because both of them are hydrogen, so there's no competition, no electrochemical series. So in acid, hydrogen is formed. So on this side, at cathode side, hydrogen gas is formed. Okay, H2, H plus ions will take 2 electrons and become H2. So we will see hydrogen gas on cathode. Okay, reduction. And at anode, this is sulfate ion and hydroxide ion, and this is a dilute solution. So which ion will discharge? Sulfate or hydroxide? Hydroxide.
Ma'am, I think hydroxide.
Yeah, it's a dilute solution. So in dilute solution, which thing is more, solvent or solute? In
Solid.
dilute solution, yeah, solvent is more. Okay, so in dilute solution, if solvent is more, so it means water is more in quantity. Okay, water is more, so OH ions will also be more. So OH ions will go to anode and discharge. Okay, and as we studied in the previous example, that whenever OH ions will discharge, they will give water and oxygen. Okay, by losing
Like
4 electrons. Yeah. Okay, oxygen. So oxygen is formed. So when OH ions are discharged at anode, oxygen is formed, oxygen gas. So we will get two gases, and in these two pipes, hydrogen is collected on one side, on cathode side, and oxygen is formed on the other side. So we will get two gases. Okay, and in the middle there is water which is formed at OH. Okay, when OH discharges, water is also formed. So water is collected in the middle. Okay, so this is the apparatus, a Hoffman voltmeter. Okay, and two gases are formed. Now, the last thing is about this, that hydrogen, you can see here that hydrogen gas is more in quantity as compared to oxygen. Okay, can you tell me why?
Ma'am, can you
Why
repeat the question?
Why hydrogen gas is more in quantity than oxygen? See the diagram? Oxygen is more. Sorry, hydrogen is more, oxygen is less. So why is it so? No guesses?
Ma'am, because it's more reactive.
No.
Ma'am,
Okay. Huh.
water, hydrogen molecule.
Yeah, hydrogen molecules, but here there are oxygen molecules also. But why it is more? Let me tell you.
To
Ma'am,
give
because
water
Um,
more
ma'am,
hydrogen molecules.
more
ma'am, because
hydrogen
in
yeah.
water, ma'am, because in water there are two hydrogen molecules for each oxygen molecule.
Yeah, two hydrogen ions. Okay, for
Yes,
each
ma'am.
OH ion. See, the sulfuric acid is also giving hydrogen. Very good. Sulfuric acid is giving hydrogen plus, and water is also giving hydrogen plus. Okay, and there is only one OH. So it means what is the ratio of
Of
of H
hydrogen
positive and OH ions?
is more than OH.
Yeah, the ratio is 2:1. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so these two molecules are producing 2 times we are getting hydrogen plus as compared to OH ions. Okay, so that is why more H positive are moving to the cathode side. That's why we are getting more hydrogen. Okay, the ratio of H positive ions is more. So the ratio here is 2:1. So remember this thing. Okay, so these are the small things on which questions can come. Okay, which the electrodes are in Hoffman voltmeter, that electrodes are made up of which material? Okay, and what are the two gases that we get on anode and cathode? Okay, and this question can also come that write the half equations on cathode and anode, and why hydrogen we get is in more amount as compared to oxygen. Okay, so these small questions you should know the answers about everything. Okay, that's why I'm saying to revise and read the book also. Okay. um, Now there is a next topic, electroplating. Okay, only two topics are left now from this chapter, electroplating and electrorefining. Okay, and both of these topics are related to each other. So if you understand electroplating, okay, then you can understand electrorefining also. Okay, because they both for both of them the concept is almost similar. Okay, and in electroplating also, as you can see in the book, that there is no half equation for electroplating. Okay, so that's a good thing. No half equation, you don't have to write or learn any half equation. For electroplating, the important thing is that you should know um the like how it works. Okay, what is electroplating and how it occurs, electroplating on from one thing to the other. Okay, the process of it. So okay, on this slide I wrote all the tests. Okay, on this one the tests are written. So this is the test for in dilutes, when we electrolyze dilute HCl, then on cathode we will get hydrogen gas, and at anode we will get oxygen gas. Okay, as it is dilute. So oxygen gas test, it relights a glowing splint, and hydrogen gas test is it burns with a pop sound.
Oh,
Yeah. And concentrated HCl, when we electrolyze concentrated HCl solution, then at cathode again we get hydrogen. Okay, and at anode we will get chlorine gas. Okay, so hydrogen test is the same, pop sound, and chlorine gas is that it bleaches the filter paper. Okay, it bleaches the damp filter paper. So these are the tests. Okay, go through them. And I uploaded this on OneNote, this slide, this presentation, but I did not distribute it yet. Okay, so after the class I will inshallah distribute it, this slide also. Okay, did you check the previous one, the previous
Yes,
slide also? I distributed it, so you must be having in your chemistry section the first presentation. Okay, this is the second presentation, and now there's a third presentation of electroplating.
yes, ma'am. There is the second one.
Yeah.
Ma'am, did you make these presentations yourself?
Yes.
They're very good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I made them actually last time because last time also it started the online classes in second term. So I made these slides last time, last year. So I'm using them now also. Okay, so electroplating. The next topic, we're from page 111 to 112. Okay. Now electroplating is what is electroplating? Electroplating is a procedure that uses electrolysis to apply a thin layer of metal, means a thin layer of a metal over the surface of another metal. So here we are using two materials. Okay, we will use two materials, and one material is a good metal. Okay, a good metal, and we will apply a thin layer of that good metal over the surface of another metal, which is comparatively like simple and um, you can say cheap, okay, or less useful material. Okay, so we will take that material. For example, if we have a coin made up of brass, okay, and we cover it, we coat it with any other metal, like if we coat it with chromium, okay, if chrome plated coin, so if we cover it with chromium, then one metal, the good metal, will be chromium, okay, and the other another metal is brass. So we do this with the help of electrolysis. We cover one metal on the top of the other metal. Okay, have you ever heard about that gold plated jewelry or silver plated spoon, silver plated utensils? Hmm? Plated? No? Your mother must know about it. Gold plated jewelry. And if you have maybe and you must know about the uh, tooths. Like sometimes the people use gold plated teeth, gold
Yes,
plated
ma'am.
tooth.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sometimes they also put silver plated teeth.
Yeah, silver plated or gold plated. So the dentist use this. But why? Because gold is very less reactive. Okay, it gives a
Yes,
good look,
ma'am.
and also it is very less reactive.
Fillings.
Hmm?
They use silver for fillings, like in your teeth if you have cavities.
Yeah, they use silver for filling, but that's for filling. Okay, we are talking about here about the like plating, covering things. Okay, wrapping things up. So the teeth is like any other material. Okay, the useless material, and we cover it with the good metal. Okay, so we do this with the help of electrolysis. Okay, so how we do this? This is the electroplating. Okay, the definition of electroplating. That electroplating is a procedure that uses electrolysis to apply a thin layer of a metal over a surface of another metal. Okay, have you understood this? The definition?
Ma'am, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now few minutes are left, so we can do this slide. This is actually it's the same electrolysis. Okay, we have anode, cathode, electrolyte, everything is the same, but there are some differences. Okay, some differences too. So the anode, first of all, number one, the anode is made up of the metal you want to coat on the surface of another metal. Okay, so anode is made up of the metal, the good metal, okay, which you want to coat. Like for example, if you coat anything with silver, gold, okay, if you coat anything with nickel or chromium, then these things are made anode. These things will be given positive charge. Okay, like if you want to cover the coin coin with silver, okay, so the silver, you will take pure silver bar, okay, and connect it with the positive terminal of the battery, making it anode. Okay, so this is anode, the material which you want to coat. Now, the second point is the cathode. The cathode is made up of the metal you wish to coat. Okay, metal or I should say the material. Okay, it is not always a metal. It can be any other thing also. Like the coin. The coin is made up of brass, bronze, okay, or any other alloy. These are alloys. So the coin is made up of these things, Okay, so the coin, the material which you wish to coat, that will be made
Be connected
cathode
to, oh, a
with the
negative
negative.
terminal.
Yeah, you will connect this coin with the negative terminal. Okay,
So
and when
they both will
you,
attract to each other.
yeah, both will attract. So this Ag, from here, the Ag will be, the silver will be transferred to coin. Okay, but there is an electrolyte role also in it. Okay, the third thing is that there is an electrolyte. The electrolyte is the solution which we use. Okay, there has to be a solution also. So which can transfer the ions from one place to another. Okay, so electrolyte can be any salt of anode metal. Okay, so at anode we are using the good metal which we want to coat. Okay, so we can take in electrolyte, we can take any salt of that metal. Okay, so here in this example we want to cover it with zinc. Anode is anode is silver. Okay, so we can take any salt of silver, like we can take silver chloride, we can take silver bromide, we can take silver sulfate. Okay, any salt. We can take silver nitrate also. Okay, any salt, etc. So take any salt of a good metal, of that anode material. Okay, so if we want, for example, if we want to coat some jewelry with gold, so we will take the electrolyte of gold. Okay, gold chloride, gold bromide. If we want to cover the coin with chromium, then we will take chromium salt. Okay, so chromium sulfate, chromium nitrate, chromium chloride. Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the last thing is a point to remember, that that in electroplating and in electrorefining, okay, in last two topics, the electrodes are not made up of inert material. So we will never take graphite electrodes. Okay, graphite, or graphite means carbon. We will not take carbon electrodes in electroplating and electrorefining. Okay, so we will always take these reactive metals. Means these metals, they have less reactive. Okay, some of the metals like gold, silver, platinum, they are less, very less reactive, but they are reactive. Okay, we cannot say that they have no reactivity at all. So they are reactive. So we will not take the completely inert material. So electrodes are made up of some reactive material. Okay, so these are the things. Okay, the points which you have to remember. Okay, in electrorefining also is the same almost. The anode, cathode, and electrolyte. And there is almost, yeah, the time is up. Okay, so we'll start from here, from this slide, inshallah, in the next class.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, you can go now. Okay,
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
take rest.
Okay, Allah Hafiz, ma'am.
Allah Hafiz.